And I just had a really good time. I just had a really good time. Hello, my name is Megan and welcome back to my channel, Adventures with Megan. Today voy a hablar sobre mis experiencias con Mundo Antiguo. Don't worry, this video is not going to be in Spanish. So, I have just finished 3 months travelling through Central America, and I also started with 1 month in Peru. So what I'm going to be talking about in this video is a review of the Spanish school that I attended in Cusco. So it was the Mundo Antiguo Spanish school and I was there for 3 weeks altogether. I started with just 2 weeks and then I extended another week, so I did 3 weeks altogether. So in this video, I'm going to be telling you about my time at the school, if I would recommend it, and any top tips if you're also at the school. I apologise if it sounds like I've got a cold. I have got a bit of a cold. I'm back in England and it is chilly, so there's that. I have my jumper on, I literally have my heating on. You're positioned so that I've actually got like sunlight. It's a nice day now, it was 4 degrees at Parkrun this morning, 4. So that's where we're at. So basic information about the Spanish school. So it is a school where you can go and learn Spanish, as the name suggests. It is based in Cusco in Peru, that is in the Sacred Valley, and it is 3,400 meters, which is high. So that's one thing to bear in mind, is the school is at altitude. If you have issues with altitude, consider that before going. And the school itself is actually up a hill as well. And it doesn't matter what level of Spanish you can have 0 Spanish, you can have basic Spanish, or you can want to improve your Spanish. So I'll talk through a little bit later about how they assess your Spanish levels before going as well. So the courses that are available at the school, so it's a minimum of 1 week in-person courses, and you have 4 hours of Spanish lessons a day. So this is either private lessons or lessons in a group, and you can choose beforehand. Obviously the private lessons are more expensive, and if you choose group lessons, you'll be put in a group of a maximum of 4 people with other people that are the same or similar level of Spanish to you. If there are no groups available that are of a similar level to you and you want group classes, they will provide private classes until they can provide group classes. Your lessons are either in the morning or in the afternoon. So the morning lessons run from 9 till 1 and the afternoon lessons run from 2 till 6. So before joining the school, you're sent out an assessment. So it's a written document. It is quite long, so put aside some time for this. And you're also asked to send in a video, so there's prompts all the way through. And this is to assess your level of Spanish, to make sure that they've got you in the right level classes. And then when you start the classes as well, they come in to check that you're with the right level of people and that you're happy with the class that you're in. One of my friends actually did some online classes with the school beforehand as well, but I was using Lingoda, as I've mentioned in a previous video. So moving on to the structures of the classes. So at the beginning of the week, which is usually a Monday, or it is a Tuesday if there's a festival on the Monday, you all sit around in a circle, like the whole school if you're in morning or afternoon. You introduce yourself, just saying what your name is, where you're from. They introduce the teachers and all the staff as well. And then you're sent into your different classes based on your ability level. You will then have 2 teachers throughout the time. So one of my friends had 3 hours of private classes instead of 4 hours of group classes because there wasn't anyone available that was her level. So the timings were slightly different, but for group classes, you have 2 teachers and you have them for 2-ish hours each. So you have about 1 hour's 50 of lesson, and then you have a break, and then you have another hour's 50-ish of lessons, and then you leave. During that break, by the way, you're near the San Blas region, which has excellent cakes and coffees. Would highly recommend Espresso 18 for coffee and Greenpoint for cakes, because they have like completely plant-based cakes and they are excellent. Take your own Tupperware, it saves you money. So during the classes themselves, you are given a workbook. So you have workbooks of different colours depending on what level of Spanish you are. I actually got mine in PDF format so that I could put it onto my iPad and annotate it. So some of the classes you'll be working through the workbooks. We also did games. We tried to do songs, but we were like, we ain't singing in front of people. We did reading, there were videos as well. And then some groups also went into town to learn how to do conversation in town as well. So some outings as well. Oh, forgot to mention, you have homework as well. just a little add-on at the end. You don't have to do it, but if you do the homework, then you're more likely to progress a bit quicker as well. During this time, you are really, really welcome to ask questions, to clarify points. The teachers are all really friendly, happy to answer any questions. And our teachers as well, they asked us what it was we wanted to learn so they could mould the classes more to us. And then at the end of each week, you can give feedback. So they come around with feedback forms and you can suggest any improvements they can make. And it was obvious that they were like acting on the suggestions as well, which is always good to see. And then in the evenings, there are daily activities. So these were, we went out for food, we did salsa lessons, we did a language exchange where you'd go to a hostel in town and there'd be Spanish-speaking people from Cusco and surrounding areas who wanted to improve their English, and you'd be paired with them, you'd have questions and answers, and you'd switch between English and Spanish every 10 minutes. There was also football. I never did football. I couldn't breathe at rest altitude, so I never did the football. And then we also had some like lectures as well. So whilst I was there, it was Inti Raimi, which is the Sun Festival. So we had a talk on that. We had a talk on like Pachamama blessings and ceremonies and just really interesting things like that. Oh, we painted little bulls. Where is my little bull? I sent it home. I need to find my little bull, actually. And what else? Oh, there's also potato tasting. There's fruit tasting. So each month there's like a overview calendar of the activities that month. And then each day you're on a WhatsApp group as part of the school, and Ninoska, who coordinates the social activities, sends out a message saying who wants to come to this today, and you sign up to it on the day. I would highly recommend doing the activities because it's really good to meet people that like aren't in your class and aren't in your either morning or afternoon as well. So accommodation wise, so there's 3 options for accommodation with the school. So one, you can organise your own accommodation. So one of my friends was staying in a hostel throughout. One of them was staying in an Airbnb. So there are options if you want to do your own thing. You can also ask the school to put you in apartments and then you're with other students from the school as well. And then the third option is a homestay, which is what I did. I had the best family. I was so lucky. So I went at Easter time in 2024 and I signed up in like October 2023 and I was initially only doing 2 weeks. So when you say that you want to have a homestay, you're sent a list of families and it says like where they live, the amenities, like I think everywhere has Wi-Fi. It says if they have hot water and how long they have hot water for. They say who is in the family. So I chose a family with a dog, unsurprisingly, and I also chose a family where all the rooms were en suite as well because my insides can be a little bit unpredictable, especially at altitude. So those are the 2 main reasons why I chose my family, but oh my word, they are just like the loveliest people. I actually feel like I have a family in Cusco now. May or may not have plans to go back already, but I was really, really lucky with my family. And with them you have, so your accommodation, including at the weekends, your Wi-Fi and all like bills are included. And then you also have 3 meals a day. I can't have dairy and they worked around that absolutely fine. So just let your host family know if you can't eat anything. And if I wasn't going to be in the house for a meal, so for example, if I was going out for food with school, I would just let them know in the morning. And I also had their WhatsApp number as well to communicate during the day. Also, alongside the Spanish lessons, the school can organise excursions. So Peru is like, there's so many activities to do around Cusco. So there's obviously Machu Picchu, there's treks to Machu Picchu, there's Rainbow Mountain, there's Lake Umantai, there's the Siete Lagunas tour now that didn't used to exist but now does, and it's beautiful. You can go to the jungle. If you want, the school can also organise this if you'd rather use companies, like different companies. So one of my housemates went on a particularly bougie trip of Salcantay and they had like beds and showers and it looked beautiful. I stayed in tents when I did Salcantay years ago, but anyway, so you can do a mixture of tours with the school or tours with other agencies. There's loads of travel agencies in Cusco. I'll pop a couple in the description box below that I used, that my friend used, that I would recommend. And then you can also do volunteering. So as I mentioned, the lessons are half day, so you can do volunteering in the other half day. You can work at the zoo, you can do schoolwork, you can volunteer in a hospital. There's quite a few options of things that you can do, and the school will coordinate that for you as well. So overall, would I recommend the Spanish school? I would highly recommend this Spanish school. So I found it, basically I knew I wanted to be in Cusco because I went there for my elective and really enjoyed it, and went back in 2018 as well. And I joined a group called Backpacking Peru on Facebook and searched through Spanish schools in Cusco, and this one came up really well rated. I just really enjoyed my time there. My Spanish improved so much whilst I was there. Like, I was, especially with like living with the family, because that meant that I was having to speak Spanish straight away in the morning before coffee, and if anyone knows me, before coffee is a struggle. Yeah, I had a really good time. I'm still in touch with loads of people that I met at the school, and as I said, I already have plans to go back. It's a great way to learn Spanish. You feel really well looked after, you've got contact details of people all the time. Melissa, who answers the emails when you first like email the school, is really good at getting back to you, and all the staff in the office are really, really friendly. So my 3 top tips for the school. 1, I mentioned Cusco's 3,400 metres. This is high. I realise if you already live at altitude, it's not that high. I live in East Yorkshire. We are pretty much at sea level here. I really struggle with altitude. I personally take acetazolamide for this, but I still couldn't breathe. My resting heart rate was still 120. So I would get to Cusco a little bit early, so you've got some sort of time to acclimatise. There were 2 doctors attached to the school as well who would monitor us if we had like upset stomachs or respiratory problems. I would also highly recommend a homestay. Obviously, I would say this, I had the most fantastic experience, but it was such a good way to fully immerse myself in the Spanish culture, and it meant that my Spanish improved a lot quicker than if I was, for example, living in an English-speaking hostel. And my 3rd tip is just be willing to like throw yourself in there. I did karaoke. So, that's a thing. At the end of the language exchange on the Wednesdays, there's an option to do karaoke, but you have to sing it not in your own language. So I sung a camp rock song in Spanish, and that, I mean, it wasn't great, but we did it, and that's something I'd never normally do at home. So I think being willing to like throw yourself into unknown situations that you've not done before. And I just had a really good time. Would highly recommend. So thank you very much for watching this video. I hope it helped if you're considering going to the school. If you have any questions about the school, pop them in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one.